Hi, this is Dawn. Welcome to my art room and welcome to my YouTube channel. It's lovely to have you, and I'm thrilled to bits whenever I see a couple more people joining me. So today is not about doing a whole lot. It's Saturday afternoon and it's a bit of a quiet day. It's a warm day, so I'm sorry you will hear the fan. But I thought I'd come and share with you what's going on in this art room. Too many things, ridiculous amount of things. But anyway, the very first thing that I wanted to share with you is my piece that I'm thrilled to bits with having finished for my online course that I did with Fleur Woods, Joyful Embroidery. I just learnt so much. It's a beautiful course to do, and if you see it open again, it's offered intermittently. I think it's closed at the moment, but I think they come back and do things through Fibre Arts Take Two. I think it's a Melbourne-based company. Anyway, in Australia somewhere. Excuse me. Always cough when I start to talk. It doesn't happen when I'm not talking. It just only happens when I talk. Anyway, I thought I'd given you a sneak preview, and I thought I would come back and show you my final piece. I submitted it for an online exhibition, and that exhibition is available now. If I can get my, technical skills sorted, I will add the link to it, because the link is for the book that will be published for everyone who participated and entered into this. And one of my lovely friends who, I'd mentioned once before, my lovely Chris O'Donnell, who made me this little gorgeous birdie that, it's here always. I'm always using it. So Chris has a piece in here as well. So I don't know any of the other people all around the world. Lots of Australian people, New Zealand people, but there were other people involved. So about this piece, I just wanted to talk to you about. This sort of goldy colour in the back was a piece of, it's a silk fabric that I hand dyed. The majority of the flowers were from a piece of fabric that was a Japanese printed fabric that had these sort of flower shapes on them that I cut out and, cut around, made a design with it. These gum leaves are from some eco-dyed printing that I did. Who knows how I did them? I don't remember, but they turned out good. I've had it for a while. So I just added those in. The exhibition was entitled Seasons, and it was a little bit of, you could decide what that meant to you. And mine was about seasons of change. We moved to this house, and I've mentioned it before in my videos. We've been here 2.5 years. We retired at that same time. We sold our family home that we'd been in for 40 years, and we moved from a Melbourne suburb to a Gippsland country town to retire for whatever reason. A bit of a tree change. Anyway, the little town that we've moved to is called Druin. Ever increasing, I have to tell you. It's kind of like on the outskirts of the Melbourne suburbs. It hasn't quite intensified to those points, but it's definitely increasing in its volume. But the town is known for It's flowering gums. They're on all of the nature strips that when you drive through the town, it's a little town, but all the nature strips, and of course right at the minute they're all in flower and they just look gorgeous. Even my sister today said to me, "Oh my God, look at those gorgeous trees." I said, "Yeah, they're our flowering gums." So some of what I did was, in Fleur's course, she talks about using lots of stitching but some other materials to support that. And so these little gum nuts were made from air dry clay that I then painted. My mum said to me today, "Oh, they look real. I thought they were real." So that was a very nice compliment. And we also have these funny little things that happen on some of the gum leaves. They're like a funny little, like a nutty sort of thing that happens on the side of the gum leaves. So I just added them. Some of our gum leaves have little spotty bits on them. The other parts of the course were around wrapping some, like a thread thing, adding beading, adding texture, experimenting with a little bit of weaving, and I've added that sort of like throughout. These bits here were actually from a dyed piece of doily lace trim that I had. This was a piece of doily that I'd dyed, forever ago, and then added these flower shapes were from the Japanese fabric that I just embellished over the top of them, added my own little bits and pieces. Flaring, one of the components was about needle punch. Anyway, going through these layers. So wait on, I'm going to turn you over. Hold on to your seats. So the backing, I used a piece of wool blanket that actually Susanna from Vintage Blend Studios gifted to me, and then I put this piece of silk over the top. So I've just added it to this embroidery frame. The wool blanket is beautiful to stitch through, and so that's where I was going with that. It was really hard to do the needle punch needle. Oh, and I can't even see the tool at the minute. It's something that you thread a thread through and then you punch in and out, and it makes these little loops that you can then cut, a bit like turkey work. And so it comes in through the... Oh no, this piece I did separate because I tried to do it here, and oh my gosh, I nearly was like, let me just turn that over there. It's here somewhere. I nearly went insane with it because trying to go through that many layers, it's not good. So I did this a bit like what's the word for it when you do separate and then I put a wire thing around it. Oh, my brain's left. I'll tell you in a second. I'll think of it. And so did this punch needle through here, and that was my kind of claim to fame with that one. Yeah, little wrap things. I did some ribbon embroidery and some extra stitching and beading over the top. I really enjoyed using this technique, which was with wool, and I just followed, this was a variegated wool, knitting wool, and so it just came out like that, and then I added some extra highlights in there and a little bit of that doily. Embroidered leaves. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I would I have ever done this on my own? No. Instant no. I can tell you I did this as being inspired by Fleur. So yeah, my theme was seasons of change, moving from one house to another, to a home where gum blossom is part of the environment, and yeah, they're everywhere. Just wanted to share that with you. I will add the link to the full exhibition of artists that have contributed to this online exhibition, and they will print a book, and yeah, something that I will love to have. Just wanted to share it with you. Cool. Okay, so what else? Oh gosh, now you've got a blank screen. So I've been working hard. A couple of things. Let's talk about a couple of things. I've been working hard on my gosling quilt. I've been cutting out all sorts of bits and pieces to get that sorted out. The other thing that I've been working on is my Just Because quilt. Yeah, sorry, you've got a bit of a hoo-ha going on here. I just wanted to show you, sorry. And these are the things that I've been working on. Here it is. Gosh, it's upside down, back to front and round the wrong way. So I'm working on panel 5. I've embroidered a sleigh and some reindeers. I'm looking at some little houses that I fully intended to do needle turn applique. Willie was here yesterday and we were talking. I said, oh my gosh, I totally forgot to add the extra bit of seam allowance. So I've got to cut these ones out again so that I can do needle turn. If I tried to needle turn there, there'd be nothing left. So I'm working on that. If you want to go and catch me on those videos, you will see those. Sorry, screw it up in the face. And yeah, the gosling quilt has been something that I've been working on. I've got lots of bits and pieces to make some more panels, but one of the things that I thought I would work on today was a needle book. So I made this little pouch in a prior video. Maybe I'll take you up a bit because I'm a bit in your face, aren't I? Sorry. And, this is like perfect for keeping my templates in. I had this piece of embroidery that I did yonks ago, and I cut it off here because it was longer, and thought I could make a needle book. So, went looking and, going through my bits and pieces. So I thought I'll just have a bit of a chat. I've, watched, some things that Sarah and Rachel have done where they've done what they're calling fabric books. I had a birthday. Yep, I had a birthday. Anyway, that's all right. My gorgeous son and his wife bought me this beautiful bundle of it's like pre-felting. They found it somewhere at a market or something. There was another bunch of fabric and it had this gorgeous tie around it. Anyway, had this beautiful piece in there that I went, oh, that's just like perfect. So I thought, while I just gibber away and talk to you, I would have a go at this. Been watching Rachel and Sarah do some gorgeous little fabric books that they're calling, but I'm going to call mine a needle book. I'll put that in the description. I thought I would make an internal pocket. So when I go off to do my stitching, somewhere, I constantly lose my pins. I bought more of them. And my thimble. And if I just have it in an open pocket, they fall out. So I decided that in this little book, I'm going to do another little zipper pouch. So yeah, sorry, you're going to watch me do another little zipper pouch so that, you know, I can tuck these things in, put the little zip. I went looking through my stash. I found this pale blue one. You know, I'd cut this piece of hot pink zip off and I thought I could just add a, you know, a little zip. And I've tried and tried and tried. I've got this little, the thing can't make it blooming work at all. And so I think I've probably destroyed it, but I probably would have preferred that. But anyway, I had this burnt orange colour. I think I'm going to go with the pale blue. I think, you know, it doesn't matter. So, and I've got on my table here, oh my gosh, I can't even describe what I've got. Like, I've got this ridiculous amount of stuff because I've been working on my Gosling quilt, and what I've been doing is cutting out all of the bits. Well, I'll just show you, you know, like all my pieces to go together. They're not together, and I'm not going to do that on screen. I'll just do this one. Lots of gorgeous, all these gorgeous fabrics that will go together. But I thought to go in my little, you know, pouch here, I would add a little needle book. It's going to be a needle book. It's not going to be a fabric book. It's going to be a needle book. And I'll use a piece of this gorgeous home, you know, like pre-felt, what I call pre-felt. It's not dense, you know, like felt is. It's what I call pre-felted. Being a felter, I've been a felter in my day. It's what I would call pre-felt. So you can then add things to it and continue to felt it. But I'm going to use it as part of, you know, what I can stick my needles in. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do while I talk to you. I'm going to stop looking at the screen because I keep looking at the screen, but I think I'm on screen. And so I'm just going to do a double. Oh, yeah, it's kind of there. All right, so now I think I'm on screen. As long as I stay, you know, above this red line, you can see what I'm doing. So I put this bit of fabric on here. I actually machine stitched it, and I'm going to keep that there because what it's doing is protecting the piece of embroidery that I cut, and I don't want to lose the embroidery. So I think being machine stitched will mean that I've got that little bit of extra protection. I found this doily that I thought will make an internal pocket with a zip that I can, you know, keep my thimble and pins and things in. Oh gosh, you know, like I take it in a thimble book and then I lose them. They fall out in my bag or they do some other crazy thing. So I'm just going to cut this. Actually, what I might do is turn it over here, and so that I've got the size that I want, because then what I'm going to do, it's a fairly simple project. I'll try maybe, you know, with pre-felt you get sort of these wibbly edges. I love that bit, but I'm not going to waste it on this because it's all the edges are going to be covered. So I'm going to actually cut it with scissors and back this piece with the felt and then put the internal pocket in it. So yeah, there might be a little bit of, you know, a bit of stop and start like I normally do. Cool. All right. So that's me. That's where I'm headed today. I've got my background for my Roxy Journal Stitchery Volume 7 done. Like I said, I'm working on those things for my Just Because quilt. And I'd like to think that I could get sort of started on something of my own. I've got a couple of things buzzing around in my head, which haven't happened yet, but that's all right. They still might. And, yeah, I just thought that I would come on and have a play with you, have a chat, see what you're up to. I'm going to cut this here. One of the things that I thought I would do was just add little bits and pieces. So I've got sort of all these, little scrappy bits that I've taken, that I've used. And so while this one looks very neat and trim and proper, the rest isn't going to be. I'm going to just add that one there because, like I said, I stitched it there. I've got some embroidery thread that I thought I would just do running stitch to hold the bits and pieces together. And, yeah, just make a little, a little sewing pouch to add to my big one, so that when I go off and, do something with somebody else or somewhere else, I've got something to take. So I just thought I'd add bits. Oh, sorry. I thought I was going to be in the screen and I'm not. All of these fabrics are from the same range, so they all go together. They match each other in colour tone, and they're throughout the embroidery. Yeah, that's me. That's where I'm headed. Got another bit here. Cool. All right. I'm going to go and get all of these little bits sorted out here. Then I'll come back when I'm ready. And what I'm going to do is, with this doily, it's like, it's a serviette. So it's double there. Yep, like that. The embroidery matches in the colour range. It's got a fold here that I can make use of, so I don't have to create. What I'll do is stitch here and here, and then I'll add the zip in here, so that, and then what it will do is it will behave like that. So it'll be like something that folds up. I'll work it out, just given in relation. I think it's going to go this, I can't remember, this way, so that the fold is here, which I'll, attach to the hair. I'll put the zip in here and then just hand stitch this. So this bit of lace will hang off from this side, and this bit of lace will hang off from the bottom. That's not exactly centered, but, I'm not really worried. It's to hold my pins. If I've got a packet of needles, it's not going to hold my scissors because they probably won't fit, but, a smaller pair will. And my thimble, because every time I go somewhere, I lose the jolly thimble. Cool, that's here. All right, I've got a couple of them, but, I tend to lose them. They just escape. And, maybe I can fit that in there, my erasable pen, that I can heat erasable pen from when I'm actually tracing off some of these, I trace the template around so that I know where my stitch lines are. And so, yeah, it's handy to make sure that I know where it is, because, I'll always lose it. Cool. All right. Just wanted to come and have a little bit of a chat and a share. My Fleur Woods thing was my biggest thing for this week. I'll be back in a sec. Okay. Right, so it's Sunday. I didn't get to finish last night. Just got distracted with a few other things. That's all right. It was all good. And it's now Sunday. So I thought I'd better finish this. It's sitting here on my table. So what I did do was once I started to pin in the zip, I realised that it was going to stick out too much. So I cut it back a bit more because I don't want it to stick out. I want it to be sort of within the confines of the purse. Cool. All right. And so I'm just going to stitch it on. So what I've done is tucked that edge in this side. This is the fold. So I'm just going to top stitch it. I'm going to go from right to left. That's the way I stitch comfortably. This end here is too long, but probably not long enough for me to cut off. So I think it'll be okay tucked in. But, you know, when I get to there, we'll work it out. Cool. All right. So I hope you're all good again. It's another day. My apologies if I repeated myself a couple of times. I watched it back this morning thinking I better just see what I got up to and realised that I said a couple of things a couple of times. So my apologies for that. I'm just stitching this with a running stitch, but a fairly close one because I don't want it to be have any gapes in it as the zip goes up and down. Yep. I just find if I sort of continuously feed the stitches onto the needle like that, like in that scooping sort of motion, I can be reasonably even with my size of stitches and I can stay kind of straight. I shouldn't profess to all of that without, but yeah, I should be able to see that. And by tucking that zip in back on itself on the front, it just leaves that to be a bit tidier. I actually tucked it the other way and then realised what I was doing, so I needed to change that along with the size. Once I pinned it all, I realised that it was way too big. Well, too big for what I want. Cool. All right. Just going to make sure that it doesn't get caught up in the teeth of the zip and that it's going to be tucked in there and doesn't go beyond. That's that folded middle part of the fabric. Good. I'm going to finish this off here. Am I? I think I actually want to stitch that down there. Yep, sorry. I'm thinking and planning while I'm doing this. Let me just see if that's the best way to do it. Only because once it's stitched up, I won't be out. It might be too hard to add it to the book itself. All right, a couple of little just going to catch that edge in there too. You won't ever see it, but it's just going to make sure that it stays in place really, so that I it doesn't get caught up in zips or in whatever I'm putting in the little purse. Good. okay to stop and start all your plotting and planning. No use getting too far ahead of myself. Okay, so the lace is going to stick out. I probably just need to know where the middle is. That would be a really good thing to think about. Oh, and having it up the right way would be even better. Gosh, I nearly added that. Sorry, I nearly added that upside down. That wouldn't have been great. All right, if I stick a pin in it, give me some idea of where the middle is. Good. Right way, right way. Fantastic. Okay. So what I'm thinking is if that was in there, am I going to be able to manage the zip? Yeah. I think doing this now is the easier task to do it while this is flat. And I'm just going to do the same, a running stitch through it. What I really have to decide is if I'm going to go all the way through. What I might do is like an invisible stitch, but have the little stitch under and the bigger stitch over the top, so that I'm not making a feature of stitching here over that. I'll see, but I think it does need to go through all the way, because if it doesn't, there's nothing else for that attached, and then that will flop. Yep. All right. Decision made. Good. All right. I'm going to go all the way through to start with, and then just with taking a little stitch, sorry, really head you off the screen, come back through, and then a slightly bigger stitch here, because you're not going to see it. This will be inside the book. Good. A little stitch on this side. Oh, sorry, keep doing that. A little stitch back through here. So there's a big stitch and then not much of a space between the next bigger stitch. Let me see if I can get this a bit closer and you a bit closer, because I'm feeling like I just need to be closer. It's as simple as that. All right. Back through, it's not a very big stitch. It's like a centimetre, but nearly nothing on this side. So probably what I really want to do is keep my eye on how straight that is there. Small stitch back to the fold. It'll take a little bit of doing. So do you need to watch me do this? Probably not. Yep. All right. You can see where I'm headed. I'm going up that middle. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so I stitched all the way through there, and I'm just fiddling here now to attach the zip to the other side. And I think that was definitely a wise move, to stitch the page to the book first. This one can be done. I can actually open the zip and it might make it a little bit easier. So I've just folded over that little bit, made sure those bits all match up there, because that's going to make the zip sit straight. Okay. I'll pin it in place here. Gosh, I've hardly got any of these pins because they're in things. I've got them in all sorts of funny projects, and I was out shopping on Friday and at a place that actually had these little pins. You don't see them all the time, and I really like them. So I've got another packet. All right, I can see that those are matching there. Those two sides there are matching, keeping that just like that. Oh gosh, sorry, my tummy's making a funny noise. I've got a coffee sitting here beside me, and it's grumbling at me. I don't know why, because I've had sort of brekkie brunch, didn't bother with early breakfast, but I've had early lunch, so brunch. Pull the car show. Okay, cool. I'll get stitching with that and work out the end when I get to it. Yes, he likes vintage cars. He has one, and a few towns away, sort of, I don't know, half an hour, I suppose, up the highway. All the blokes get together with their cars and show each other, and that's where he's gone. Hasn't been to one for a while because his car can be on the road or off the road, one or the other. And he's had to do a little bit of work on it lately, so it's out for a spin in the sunshine before it gets too hot. Do I want that in there? Is it going to just... That's a bit messy there. I'm going to put it there. Sometimes knots like that just end up getting caught in the zip. So I just want to make sure it's not going to do that. Come in from here. I think that's the better way of doing it. Gosh, keep going off screen. Sorry. Hopefully it's not too far off. It's one of those funny things that just needs you to get up a bit closer to and be a bit more... I can come back and do that catching of the zip once I've got it in. Just some things just are better off to wait. Gosh, my stomach, I hope you can't hear it, but it's carrying on like a pork chop here. I'll have a sip of coffee, see if that'll help. Might make it worse. Oh, for goodness sakes. My apologies if that's coming through loud and clear. Good. So yeah, I think that's going to sit nice and neat there. All sorts of ways to put zips in, really. They can be quite daunting at times. Some people find it really challenging and go avoid at all cost, but I just figure if it doesn't work, you pull it out and you fiddle around with it till you get it to work the way you want it to work. I've had this little bag of zips for ages. I actually think they came from my mum, who had gone to some, warehouse sort of sale, and they just had bags of zips for a few dollars, and it was whatever was in there. And some of them have metal teeth. I had this pink one, and it's got metal teeth and I've put it in another purse, and it's just not quite as nice. I thought about it, and then I decided no, I'd go with this little blue one. It didn't make such a big production of itself on the purse. Good. All right. So what I'm going to do now that I've got to the end, I'm actually going to put just like a overcast stitch across the base of the teeth here, so that the zipper doesn't go past that point. I don't know if it's necessary to cut it off. I'm just designing this with you. So if I just tuck the zip in there and then just stitch over it, what's it going to look like from the inside? It's just going to be there. I just felt, look, if it's annoying, I'll cut it off in a minute, but I'm going to continue to go over here. And this, I'm really just going through the fabric of the serviette, she says, because I just wanted to catch that in here, and then I can work my way down. I'm nearly done with this little book. That's cool. I hummed and hawed about making a second video, but I don't think it was necessary. You might want to follow along with me or have me talking away, chattering away in the background. Right, this is going to go in here now, so you can't see it. And what I'm going to do is just run a straight stitch along the edge there. That's where the lace trim is on the bottom of this serviette. It's going to need a bit of in and out first because it's just got a little bit of bulk there. But I don't think the zip, I'm going to benefit from cutting the zip. If it was any longer, yes, but it's just, it was almost the right length. It just wasn't quite. I'm going to do that same little forward a few stitches and then back one. Just gives it a bit of, it stops the stitches from pulling up. Otherwise it can act like a gathering stitch and just pull itself up. I must have that just out of line there, because I'd just rather go through the linen than the edging of the lace. Gosh, I was watching Sarah yesterday. How cute are those little fabric books that she's doing? I just wish I had some of that really old fabric. It just makes it, doesn't it? I mean, the new fabric looks nice, but the old fabrics, those old vintage fabrics, they just look so like lovely and warm and look like they would feel nice as a pin in there. That's what's making it look weird, but I can get that out. Yeah, just gorgeous. I just don't have that supply. I just have to keep my eyes open, keep a lookout. I've managed to pick up a few little odds and sods here and there, but you need to have a bit of a collection, I think, if you're going to do something that cute. Mind you, in saying that, my fabrics aren't exactly brand spanking new, but they just still look new. And, brighter colours, they haven't been used, so they haven't been worn or faded or softened up just from use. They're all still bright and shiny. What was the pity? Still, I don't mind them. I just go the wrong way? Yep. Good. I'll put you on stop while I finish this off and you can see what I'm doing. Be back in a second. I'm done. A little more matchy than what I normally do for myself. But anyway, I guess, what I wanted to say was this little bit of embroidery has been sitting in a cupboard with no one looking at it. I knew it was there. And often I would go, I should do something with that, but didn't know what to do with it. And then decided on this sewing pouch for because I'm using the fabrics, I think that's sort of what sort of sparked it in me. Cute little needle book. I went around with some embroidery thread just as a, running stitch. I'm never very good on the inside when I'm doing running stitches. I am on the outside, that the stitches don't stay very neat because I'm a scooper. But if I went in and out, I'd probably get it. I'm not going to put a tie on it. Don't think it needs it. The pocket's great. That's the sort of, that's what it's going to fit in there. That's pretty good. The zip is great. Put my little bits and pieces in there. Zip it up. My needles can go into the felt. Off I go, and I won't lose my thimble. Cool. That's all right. Done. Sorted. Cool. Hope you enjoyed seeing what I've got working on my desk, and this was a quick little project as well to go along with it. Okay. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.